With the ruin of my beloved Eversong looming on the horizon, I thought this would be a perfect time to dive into another World of Warcraft list. 10 zones ruined in the game. Let's get into it. Hey there, everyone. Welcome back to the show. It's Hump Day, and that means it's time to talk about the addiction. On this World of Warcraft Wednesday, I will be diving into 10 zones from around the game that have been screwed up by past developer choices and then never fixed. Now, a caveat before we begin. Many of these zones, you're able to talk to an NPC, Zori Dormi, I believe it is, and have the zone reverted, if not to its original iteration, then to something close enough to where the zone can be enjoyed again in its closely original state. That being said, I will be diving into what it has become regardless. Also, another caveat is that there's way more than 10 zones to discuss, so this here list is just 10 chosen at random, and there will likely be more lists in the future lamenting zones destroyed too soon and then cast aside. But I'm rambling, so let's get into it. Number 10, Desolus. I miss Desolus being desolate. I still remember running into the zone for the first time and really being taken aback by the harsh, dull gray tones of everything. Like a place that had all the life sucked out of it, and now it was just this lifeless, rocky plateau where the wildlife was starving, and that's why you get attacked every 10 step. You look like an easy meal. Further, there were all those little nooks and crannies you stick your nose into and find demon stuff going on, especially that fort, just crawling with cultists. That place was both deadly and cool. Now it's just a zone that's become a joke, its name descending into irony, as obnoxious vegetation sprouts up everywhere, ruining the atmosphere and aesthetic of the zone. Like many zones altered by the Kata expansion, the changes felt arbitrary, tacked on rather than following a narrative. Instead of the zone changing from desolation to something intriguing, it went from desolation to, hey, there's trees and crap everywhere. The quests remain largely the same, their overarching narrative and atmosphere obliterated by the piecemeal nature of the alterations. Nothing screams this more to me than the Kodo Graveyard. My gosh. Moving on, though. Number 9, Ajara. Remember beautiful, deadly Ajara? Yeah, now it's just a resort for goblins. They literally carved the land to make a giant eyesore with no protest from the Earthen Ring or anyone else. We got this dingy, nasty little hub. This mountain's been repurposed, and although I can find a goblin resort amusing in general, I really don't find it all that funny when it decimates what was a beautiful area of the game. And now we got train tracks running through the place too. Lovely. Number 8, Hillsbrad Alterac. Honestly, I hadn't noticed till I was doing this video, but they did Alterac dirty. Check out the map of Hillsbrad Foothills, then Alterac Mountains. They're two distinct zones. Lots of memories there, but then look at Kata's map. They just smooshed them together. Like, how rude. And man, what they did to South Shore, that was just beyond. I know they were rage farming, like what they did with Camp Tarajo, trying to elicit an emotional reaction out of the audience by callously and inhumanly slaughtering stuff, but this felt less like an outrage that needed avenged to something petty and mean-spirited, because at the end of the day, no matter what the Alliance might do, they can't undo these changes. This is South Shore now because, as we know, these changes have been in the game for a decade and a half. They ain't going to be resolved in Midnight or The Last Titan. So, another zone destroyed in service of shock value and edgy storytelling. Number 7, Western Plaguelands. Although subtle, you can see the changes in the Western Plaguelands map, mainly in the fact that the plague, the thing that killed an entire nation and raised it from the dead, that had been represented all throughout the RTS games and Classic WoW and so on as being incurable, the most deadly thing to ever be unleashed. Yeah, it's just kind of resolved. The land was sick and it got better. I've never had such a profound sense of the devs just not giving a flying F than this. To take years of build up stakes and danger and tragedy and then just toss it out with the dirty water because you're going in a new direction. The plague is just over. It's been resolved. Wavy hand gestures. How was it resolved? Who knows? Who cares? This is what we're doing now. Stop asking questions. Now, Anderhall would have been interesting had it been in any other area. They really did a decent job of showing a war-torn town, but this was the Plague Lands. Look at what it was. Creepy, atmospheric, terrifying. And for those of us who actually played through back in the day, deadly. Very deadly. You really had to watch your step in there, watch your pulls. There were mobs everywhere, and you had that damned lich in the middle of town with all his cronies that would just dance on your face if you weren't careful. There were stakes, and they didn't involve wavy hand gestures, but whatever. And remember the plague cauldrons on the farms? Man, those were fun. Really challenging pulls to clear those out. But it felt awesome when you finally pulled it off after your fifth rest run. But I digress. Now, just generic human farms. Yeah. Number 6, Eastern Plague Lands. Just like the Western Plague Lands, the Eastern Zone had the same wavy hand treatment of, well, the plague's over now. It's resolved. Everything's fine now. The map here doesn't show it well enough, but you can see it in the increased presence of water, the greenery down at Tears, whatever it was called, Death Knight starting zone area, that stuff. But you can really see it here when you look at what Light's Hope Chapel was and what it became. Man, this place got some real estate investment funds, didn't it? You see it, some goblin or something's running around with his business card selling crap quality construction materials on the cheap. Got his hustle on the argents and the light thumpers and all that. That's pretty much what these changes scream to me. Not progress or fighting back the darkness or anything, but more like someone's real estate investment scheme resulting in yet another generic human town. Number 5, Teldrassil. I will never hear the song Disco Inferno the same way again. This was arguably a decent attempt at storytelling with emotional weight, but it again falls into the trap of edginess and shock value. They build it up for a bit, but then it was just kind of like, we got to rush to the finish line. The story didn't address the multitude of tactical questions about how the Horde got into this position in the first place, how they launched Azerite munitions all the way from the shore to the tree, etc., etc. But whatever. This was the direction Metzen and company wanted to go in, so here we are. You could tell the Dragonflight team were trying to fix this too, with the massive and impactful Bellamess storyline. But I'd say that all got scrapped the moment they fired everyone and got Metzen back in there writing some edgy stuff. So this is what we have now. A terrible reminder of how beautiful and breathtaking the world building once was and the smoldering ruin it is now. Anyway, number 4, Undercity. Based on the numerous atrocities the writers had Sylvanas running around doing, this had significantly less emotional impact for me than Teldrassil. So you might be confused why I'm rating the destruction and unplayability of Undercity higher on the list than Teldrassil. Well, there's a simple reason for it. There's a glitch. And it's a very prevalent glitch where you have to complete the storyline to unlock the NPC to be able to turn back the Undercity to what it was. So for the wife and I, Undercity is absolutely unplayable in its entirety on so many alts because we haven't done the quest line and don't really want to do it again and again and again and again across numerous characters. The shoddy program on this one really did a number on the ruins of Lordaeron, I'm afraid. Number 3, Kunlai Summit. Look what they did to my breathtaking Peak of Serenity. Literally, the heart and soul of Pandaren monks and their training, it was once this snow-covered area of windswept natural beauty. Like, I had zero problem believing this place was real and was where you went to get away from it all, concentrate on your inner journey and your training. Then the Legion came, and, well, they never left. Even if we vanquished them so hard, demon hunters need an entirely new direction in Midnight, well, they're still here, and probably will be till the server shut down. Number 2, Veil of Eternal Blossoms. You'll remember the first time seeing the Veil of Eternal Blossoms, the shining, warm, beautiful heart of Pandaria. I remember being struck by how much it reminded me of Eversong, but also how different it was. Yeah, then Garrosh kicked the still beating heart of an old god into the well, and this is what we have now, with no way to see it as it was before, in spite of the narrative claiming we won, we cleansed it, and everything's fine now. What they probably need is some paladins, because as we've seen, if you plop a bunch of paladins down in a zone, there's nothing that can't be cured. Not the incurable all deadly plague, nothing. So, Pandaren, y'all need paladins. Oh, but then the Veil just got it again with the old gods. Not enough with the heart of one. No, we get the full treatment. Never mind the paladins. The devs have just decided F this zone forever. Number one, Silithus. Sword? What sword? I don't know nothing about no stinking sword. Holly Longdale thought she knew something about a sword at the War Within reveal, but that turned out not to be the case. The sword is our life now. This big, ugly, festering wound that, man, I don't know. I mean, I took Outland in stride, all these broken pieces of an exploded world floating around in the nether where there's somehow miraculously atmosphere and gravity and such. But for some reason, thinking about this gigantic blade skewering Azeroth, I'm like, wouldn't this world be more effed up? And wouldn't the sword just dissipate once Sargeras got zapped back to the prison by the Pantheon? Like, if he conjured it, it's his magic maintaining it, and he's now in a cell with Illidan, calling him all kinds of names. How is he maintaining this sword? Whatever. I don't know why I put so much thought into a game that does clearly have no desire to. Just shows how much of a fool I am, I suppose. But if making this list has impressed anything upon me, it's that I dearly wish the devs would have more forethought into the changes they make with the game, and not leave so many things in such a messy and ruined state. But anywho, there you have it, folks. 10 zones absolutely ruined by questionable game directions and then abandoned to just be these visual eyesore messes until the end of the game. In making this list, I found myself with at least 3 lists worth of entries, so expect more in the future. However, that's all I got for today. I do hope I entertained you all with my hillbilly antics. Now, go out there, y'all. Play something fun, roll some dice, gather around the table, make some memories, and while you're at it, maybe pop in a good movie, watch a cartoon, read a comic, enjoy yourselves. And as always, have a good